Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to work on the Punisher. So give us a like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and let's get to it. So of course, first thing we got to do is loosen up the strings, because we're going to take this neck off. I'm not going to take the strings off because it seems every time I do that with a guitar, break strings. Usually the G, B, or E. So we're just going to loosen these up enough to get the neck off. And then tighten them back up. Okay. So this actually has a shim that goes in on the side. So we're going to have to put that back in. Lay this off to the side here. Get this shim out. I'm going to put this guy in. What I want to do here, actually, this is my shorter one. Get this so it's sticking up just a little bit here, like that one is. Since I've notched out this shim. In there good. Got to make sure these strings line back up. All right, so our strings line back up. The neck is in place. I always screw in the bottom ones first and get those started. Okay. So everything is still straight over. Tighten these up first. You always want to make sure that these line up over your pickups and it's even on the neck. So now I will tighten back up the E string and the high E string. Now I don't have the best tools in the world, but I don't have the least expensive either, so you don't have to have expensive tools, you just have to have tools that work and know how to use them. Okay, so what we can see here, let me grab my other glasses because I got those over 50 eyes where I can see better. So as you will notice, moving these strings to the middle, that our strings do line up on both sides, right over the pickups. So our shim did its job. Now, also, our height seams on our So, the one thing I do notice is that it is even in the neck pocket now. So if you look here, this is even in the neck pocket. It is raised up the way it's supposed to be. So if I really want to change this pick guard out now, another one like it will fit underneath there. But not necessary. So we're gonna now, because these are very low, we'll have to raise up the bridge because there is a little bit of buzz. Because the action is very low. But this guitar has also traveled twice. So I'm going to actually check the neck to see if the truss rod has to be adjusted. And now that, because I've changed it in the neck pocket, that may have changed. I'm going to use the light from the camera. There's very little light. But it could use a little turn. So, while everything's loose, I'm going to give this a little turn. close. Give it one more little shot. And let's see. That'll do it. She's flat. So now let's see what we got for some buzz. Now, there's none in the middle of the neck. It's just a slight buzz. So we'll raise that up just a little bit. Now I may actually now have to cut the neck slot. I mean the nut slots. And you will notice the bridge is very low. So we'll adjust those and then we'll decide if we need to cut this neck slot. I mean, this nut slot. But I think we're going to have to from looking at it. I'm going to get a guitar pick and check it. I can get that fat end underneath there. And then if I fret that, there's very little room there. That's actually moving the string. So I'm not going to mess with those until I mess with the bridge. And I'll raise those up each just a half turn. So we always want to know where it starts, and then we're just going to turn it halfway. And we'll do that with every single one. Wherever it starts, we'll move it halfway. Okay. The fun part is getting that out after you set your neck, your truss rod. So let's see what we got now. Now, again, it's been a year and a half since I did this guitar, so we're going to check the frets with a fret rocker. Now that the neck is flat, and loosen that up just a little. Use this guy here, put these strings underneath. Got a little fret rock there. So at the 7th fret, so we will mark that guy. There's a little bit of clacking on that one. So these are the things you can't notice when that fret height is, so, you know, I mean your string height is so high, you won't notice those little tiny things. And again, this was the first guitar I ever built, so I wasn't great at doing this stuff. Clackety clack. That's all the way across. Very, very slight. Little slight there. A little bit on there. So, what I'm going to do is the quick and easy route is to protect these pickups from getting any metal on them. Metal filings, that is. And these aren't very bad, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my fret file because these are not stainless steel frets. And I'm going to just file them a little bit. Okay, so that one's going to need a little bit more than that. That's going to need a little over there. Came right off over on this side. Okay, so this is going to need it more on the higher strings than the lower. As you can see. And again, as I suspected, the lower string, the higher strings, not the lower strings. And this one wasn't very much, so that seems to be coming pretty good. That'll just need a little bit. I've got my nice little file here that I've got worn in to match up with the frets, so I'll use this, excuse me. Nice and smooth. Smooth as butter. I knew that wouldn't need very much either. Smooth. All right, I'm gonna hit this one. Now, if I was doing a full fret job on this, I would definitely tape this off and do the whole thing. But since I'm just doing touch-ups, and there's not really much of a rock. A lot down here. Just double check every one of these. Have a nice rounded edge. All right, those guys are good. Nice and smooth. All right, and back up here where we had the other two. Yeah, it's good to go, nice and smooth. And the final one. Right. Nice and smooth. All right. Go down here. Check that again. All right, those are all good. These two here, do just a little bit more. I'm going to do that like this. Because it's so slight, I don't want to take too much. All right, so we're going to hit these ends. And now that I've actually taken this one down, there's a little clank right here. Actually, I thought there was. No, there's not. That was this one. So there's some clank still there. A little bit of clank there. When I get about halfway over, I got nothing. So we're just going to work on from this edge over. All right. Let's see what we got for the clankage. Getting better. Still got a little clank in that one. So think I'm going to have to get a little more aggressive on these two. Since I'm going to have to be aggressive, of course we got to tape that off because I do not want to really tear up the fretboard. Since this is a nice small, one more here, just to be safe. That might have done it. And let me get my Scotch-Brite. Come on, don't fight me. Since I had to get aggressive. And this is why it pays to be organized, fellas. Have everything right when you know where it's at. piece real quick down here too. Okay. That edge is pissing me off. It's just on that, right on that edge where the high E is. Just a hair. And this is where I also use this to give me a little tap here, just to make sure it's seated right. Oops. And we've got it, fellas. Ladies, whoever seems to be watching. Alright, everything's good on this one, but it's a little on this little edge here. A little tiny bit. And I'm going to try another one of these because I think that's what it might be. A little bit right there. There she is. Alrighty. Alright, guys. That is the end of this video. I will put it all back together. I will tune it up, adjust the bridge saddles, clean up the rest of the neck, and then in the next video I will come back and I will do a demo. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, leave a comment, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.